Hello and welcome to Talk Sports, Africa's finest sports program, where we give you all the big stories making the rounds in the exciting world of sport. Yes, Anthony Momodu be my name, the king of sport, and I'm ready with all the fantastic stories making the rounds in the world of sport. Just for your delight, we'll be looking at big stories from football. The UEFA Champions League went down last night, and it was amazing. Two big teams, talking about Inter Milan taking on Atletico Madrid of Spain, and also PSV were in action last night against German champions Borussia Dortmund, and it was indeed a very classical encounter. So we'll be taking you around to the world of tennis when one of the biggest stars in the world of tennis, Carlos Alcaraz, got injured and then left after 2 games in the Brazilian Open. We'll be looking at some ex-players who are coaches trying to get back into the game. All this will be coming your way when we kickstart Talk Sport proper. Will be after this very short break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. It's time for us to kick into action. Just to let you know that I'll be joined via Zoom by Charles Ohaji, who is a football coach and also a sports analyst. He'll be joining us via Zoom to look at all the big trending stories making the rounds in the world of sport. Let's begin from the home front, where the story concerns the Super, not the Super Eagles this time around, but the Super Falcons. Let's tell you about 9-time African champions. Nigeria will fly to Cameroon's industrial and economic capital, Douala, on Wednesday night. That's tonight, as they continue their search for the ticket to another appearance at the Women's Olympic Football Tournament after 16 years. Yes, the Super Falcons last participated at the Women's Olympic Football Tournament in China in 2008 when they lost by odd goal to both the Democratic Republic of Korea and Germany in Shenyang, and 1-3 to Brazil in Beijing to crash out at the group stage. The route to London 2012 was blocked by Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses, who won a penalty shootout in Yaoundé after both teams finished the 2 legs in a stalemate. Let's also let you know that Equatorial Guinea made the journey to Rio 2016 impossible for Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire bumped into the Super Falcons in the race to the place in Tokyo. After eliminating Ethiopia in the second round of the series, the Super Falcons must now cross the Cameroonian hurdle once again to reach the final round of the African Qualification Series and throw down the gauntlet to whichever opposition appears at the stage in 2 months' time. The first leg encounter will take place at the Stade de Reunification in Douala on Friday evening with Ugandan officials Shamra Nabada as referee. Her compatriot Lydia Natabo and Jane Mutuyi and then Muringi will serve as assistant referees 1 and 2, and the 4th official respectively. Khadija Razak from Morocco will be the referee assessor, while Lukusa Kenjiga from Democratic Republic of Congo will be the commissioner. Let's let you know that Nigerian coach Randy Wardrop has selected 21 players who will be on the trip to Douala and then fly down to Abuja on Sunday morning for the return leg against the Lionesses, which will hold at the MKO Abiola Stadium on Monday evening. Wardrop and his assistant will lead the full squad on a training session at the main bowl of the National Stadium on Wednesday evening before the delegation's departure to Douala. The team will have an official training at the Reunification Stadium in Douala on Thursday evening. By Tuesday afternoon, only attacking midfielder Tony Payne and forward Uchenna Kanu were being expected at the team camp, with Kanu scheduled to turn up on Tuesday night and Payne expected on Wednesday morning. All right, so now you know your darling Super Falcons are ready to go get their ticket to qualify for the next Olympics. Okay, let's get Charles Ohaji. Good morning, Charles.
Yes, good morning, King of
Good morning,
Sports.
Charles Ohaji.
Good morning, King of Sports.
All right, Charles, nice to know you're there, and nice to know you're putting on your Nigerian jersey. All right, let's look at the Super Falcons getting ready to face the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in order to get to the last stage of qualification to get the tickets for the Olympic Games in Paris. How important is this qualification series for the Super Falcons of Nigeria?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Of course, Tony, as you know, football it's a cult in Nigeria, and of course, the Super Falcons over the years have dominated the female football in Africa. So, of course, the world is expecting to see the Super Falcons in Paris Olympic, and I think nothing less, nothing short of the Olympic ticket is going to make sense for us in Nigeria. And of course, if you check the players, Super Falcons players, I mean, they are all in high spirit. The coach himself, I mean, thank God, there was a little rift they had with the Football Association, but everything right now, from feelers I'm getting, everything right now is perfect and okay, and the players are all ready to go. And I tell you, Tony, when you look at football in Africa, of course, the female football started from Nigeria in Africa, based on how well we have done. So I think it's very important for us to be in Paris Olympic, and I want to believe that no team can stop this Super Falcons team getting to the Olympics in Paris.
All right, let's look at the fact that we know that Nigeria wants to qualify, but we've seen the indomitable Lionesses stop Nigeria from qualifying in previous tournaments after not doing so, getting the needed results, a fair result in the first leg. How important is this first leg for the Super Falcons? Do you think the Super Falcons can get a very decent result in Douala in order to finish up the job on Monday evening at the MKO Abiola Stadium?
Yes, Antonio, I'm very, very optimistic. My hopes are high. I believe in this team, and I'm very sure that we are going to get the result we want in Douala. Of course, with the performance of the Super Eagles at the last AFCON, I mean, you can see that, and with the way and with the treatment the Super Eagles got from the Nigerian government, the support of this present federal government, the present government of Senator Ahmed Tinubu, and with this present NFF president Ibrahim Guzo, I tell you that every heart, all hands are on deck. Everybody is on deck. Everybody is ready to go. And I want to assure you, Tony, that we are good. Okay, just a moment ago, I spoke to the coordinator of the national under 17 team, Bello Guzo. We spoke about the Super Falcons, and he told me some things which I cannot say on air, how well they are preparing and the confidence in the team. So we are very sure, we are optimistic that going to Cameroon in Douala, we are going to get the needed result, we are going to get the goal. So by the time we come back to Abuja, to just be a mere formality for us.
All right, looking at the game, how careful? What will be the caution sign for the Super Falcons, especially when they are facing a very tough team in the indomitable Lionesses, who we know are well built physically and are very strong on the ball and also very tactical. What should be the formation around the wardrobe should be going to Douala with? Knowing fully well that the Cameroonian team is a very, very formidable squad.
Yes, and thank you, Tony. And Tony, from what has happened so far, psychologically right now, we know the Cameroonian FA, down to the players, down to the team. Right now, they are not at that 100% they used to be after what happened at the AFCON. And I want to believe that it has affected their team. They're not 100% the way they are. So going forward, going to this match, the coach himself has said he's going to approach. He's not. We are not going there to go and look for a draw. We're not going there to go and play defensive game. No, we are going there to play we play with our full power, with the power of the Super Falcons by getting goals. We are going to Douala to score a lot of goals. And of course, if you want to score a lot of goals, what it means is that you have to be ready to play an attacking style of football, to be ready to let your player unleash everything you have on the team. So this Super Falcons, we are going there tactically We are ready. We are going to score goals, and for us to score goals, we must be ready to play an attacking style of football. And of course, Super Falcons over the years, that's the style of play we've seen them maintain. Going there, picking up their opponents, looking for goals and scoring more goals. So I tell you, we are going there to score goals, and we are going to score the goals. We're going to score a lot of goals in Cameroon. I have no doubt about that. My confidence are high, my hopes are high. I believe in this team. We are going there to play football. We are going all out to attack. We are going to all out to play to get the goals, and we are going to get goals there. That's what I'm assuring you.
All right, let's look at the return leg. Hopefully, we get the result in Douala. Let's look at the return leg in Abuja. What will be your expectations coming back to Nigeria? And also, are you worried in terms of the time frame the Super Falcons had to prepare for this, encounter? And also the Abuja Stadium, do you have reservations? And also the support for the Super Falcons?
Anthony, Anthony, I have no worry. You see, the thing is this: as a footballer, we are blessed with we are blessed with a team that have been playing season in, season out. All the players in the Super Falcons, if you name them each individually, all these players have been playing for their club regularly throughout this season. And of course, for you to be a good footballer, you must be able to play back to back games. And of time, I tell you, they know what they are expected to do, and of course, they are all prepared for that. So for me, coming back to Abuja to play, for me, as I said earlier, should just be Abuja for us to come back to Abuja to show to the ones that are going to come and thank their fans, to show we the fans that look, this is how determined we want to play. Now, don't forget, Tony, playing for a national team, I keep saying it, has to do with determination, has to do with giving your 120%. And that is what we've been able to get the national team do now. We saw what the Super Eagles did at AFCON. They were able to give all their best. So this same team, of course, they don't want to go short below what the standard is. The male team have set a standard of play. And this same female team wants to maintain that same standard of play, wants to keep that same level of trust, that same way we play. So I tell you, this Super Falcons team, by the time they come back to Nigeria, it does not matter. Even if they play the match in less than 48 hours, of course, it doesn't take anything away from the team. The team, they are fit. The players have been playing for their various clubs. They've been scoring goals. They've been in top form, and they know what it means to play a match back to back. Of course, if you go to their club, these players they play match. They play 2, 3 games in a week. They play match today. They play tomorrow. So they know what it needs to be done. So I tell you, coming to Abuja is going to just be a formality game. A way to come and show the fans that thank you for your support. Thank you, Nigerians. We love Nigerians. We are giving our best for Nigerians. We are going to the Paris Olympic, not just to go as a number, but to go this time around and pick the Olympic gold ticket, which I know it's possible, and that's what we are heading to. So I tell you, there is no fear, no doubt, no injury worry in the team. My initial fear in the team was for injuries, but going from what I had, every player in the team is fit, no one is injured, and they all want to play. And don't forget that this team have been together for a long time. This same team, they've been playing together, not just now. There's a team that have been together, so they know themselves, they know what to do. So there's no problem about that, Tony. Nigerians, we are rest assured that once we come back to Abuja, once we pick the victory in Douala, we come back to Abuja, we pick more victories. We are good to go. There's no doubt about that, Tony.
All right, let's just quickly look at before we let you go and I give some other big stories. Let's look at the Champions League that went down last night. We had Inter Milan take on Atletico Madrid. We had PSV and Borussia Dortmund also in a counter. For you, how will you describe the matchup in the Champions League last night?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Yeah, especially for the Inter Milan game. I watched that game fully, and you can see that the team that wanted to win most got the victory. But Atletico Madrid, of course, they came with their normal pattern of play, and of course, I know they were disappointed in that game because they played that game. They were goalless draw up till the 78th minute when they lost that bit of concentration from the defense line, and Inter Milan were able to get the one goal. But again, for Atletico, yet a one goal lead advantage in the Champions League, we know it's something, but again, it's not over for them. I mean, going to Spain, Inter Milan are going to expect they are going to expect to see a different Atletico entirely, a team that will come out to play all attacking football. Okay, Griezmann was taken off the match. Morata is in the game, and of course they missed a lot of chances. Of course, the game was very interesting and a bit dull. For Dortmund game and PSV game, yeah, it was just 1-1, and of course, and the game was not what I expected. I mean, I expected to see PSV do more. I mean, win that match because the way they played. Of course, they played a very good, but Dortmund actually came to say no. We came from Germany. We also need this game. So Dortmund, it's a getting that one away goal for Borussia Dortmund. Of course, it's an advantage for them going into the second leg. But for me, for Atletico Madrid not getting a goal in Inter Milan, of course, the pressure will be on Simone. But of course, we know Atletico is a team that is used to pressure. We've seen them taking such pressures before in the past. And of course, Inter Milan, as they are right now, the form they are in the Serie A right now, which of course they're topping the table in Serie A, that shows that they also need this game much, and they were able to get that one goal lead. So I think going to the second leg is going to be a tricky one for Inter Milan. Inter Milan have to be careful right now. They have to defend very well. They have to also be able to take their chances. They were not clinical. I mean, they didn't. There were goals they were meant to score, which they didn't take. So I'm sure right now the coach is going to talk to the players. Look, you need to take all your chances that come by you. So I expect to see a very, very interesting match going to the second round. Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid.
rather than staying back at PSG.
Yeah, hello Tony, come again. I lost connection with you.
Okay, let's look at Mbappe has agreed to take a massive pay cut to join Real Madrid this summer, and the 25-year-old who earns 25 million euros net in Paris will clear 15 million euros net a season at Madrid, still making him the club's top earner despite the huge salary cut. Mbappe has agreed terms with the Spanish club. Do you think this is a deal done?
Yes, I mean, for me, for Mbappe, that's a dream move. It's a dream come true for Kylian Mbappe. Of course, we all know that Mbappe is a player that has been primed, that we expect to see him conquer the world. Mbappe is a player that we expect to see him. I mean, pick up the best player in the world. And for me, of course, at PSG, he was never going to get to that level. But going to Madrid right now, with the way Madrid is playing, the form Madrid have, with the players you have in Madrid, and that Mbappe in Real Madrid, I think we're going to see Real Madrid coming back to dominate the stage in the European, to make the European stage again. For me, for Mbappe, it's a dream move for him. That is the best move for Mbappe. Of course, that's the only club Mbappe can go to right now. It's Real Madrid. So I think for me, it's a good one for Mbappe, and I'm happy for the young lad. Of course, if you check over the years, he has not been settled. I mean, staying back in PSG for me was more of
Nicolas.
of a business type of thing. Was more of a business. Okay, fine. For intervention, stay in PSG because these guys are investors in France. So let's stay in France and see how we can make more money, come to the French economy through playing for PSG. But for me, I know his mind has not been in PSG. Not before now. If you remember, before he signed the deal, he signed with PSG. He refused to sign any deal. He waited till his contract ran out because he wanted to go to Real Madrid. But of course, there was this pressure on him to remain in France. So I think right now the boy is right. This is the best time for him to move. If he doesn't move right now, I'm sorry for Mbappe, he's going to lose it all. But this time he has to move and go to Madrid. And Madrid, I tell you, that's the best move he has made for
Please,
himself.
where is this guy?
So I will expect
This
to see
Mbappe guy, they're
Mbappe
talking
right
about
now
him.
in
He
the
just
world.
put his picture. All right, still talking Mbappe in moving to Real Madrid. Is it fair how Madrid has done away with Luka Modric, because we were told that Mbappe will be wearing the iconic number 10 jersey. But do you think Modric was eased out of the Galacticos in the right way?
Yes, thank you, Tony. For me and you, we all know that we were expecting Modric to have bowed out from the stage, from the big stage. Modric has done so well for Madrid. He has done so well. Coming to this season, you could see that he just comes in. I mean, once in a while. I mean, the kind of camo appearance for Madrid.
Yeah, that's
At
the
this point in
man.
time, Modric, yes. At this time in time, Modric even himself knows that at this time he has to start thinking of taking up a managerial post in Real Madrid, or start thinking about his future outside football. Modric has done so well. He has paid his due for Real Madrid. He has paid so well for them, and that was why they honor him with an extra 1 year contract. You know, Real Madrid, it's difficult for Madrid to give a player of that age, almost 40 years old player, a contract. But Modric was honored by keeping him in Madrid and giving him another contract. So I think for Modric, I think it's okay. It's perfect. I don't think there's no ill feeling, no sad feeling about that. Of course, and Mbappe coming in, of course, is a player who wants to play for Real Madrid. So I think it's fine. I don't look at it like this. Football. Football is business. We all know Real Madrid. Real Madrid, you know them. Not today. They are a team of stars. They like having those stars play
The
for them. So I
Galacticos,
think
yeah.
for me, the Galacticos, I mean, are full of stars, you know. So for me, I think Modric has paid his dues there. He has won all the Champions League he has to win. He has won everything he has to win in football. He has picked up all the trophies he wants to pick up for Real Madrid. So I think he has done well. I think it's time for him now to give way for a clear Mbappe in Real Madrid.
All right, let's wrap up the conversation as regards Mbappe. We remember very well there was a star player in Chelsea, Eden Hazard, who was also on fire in the English Premier League, and Real Madrid wanted him so bad, and he left Chelsea when Chelsea needed him the most. But fast forward one season in Real Madrid, he could not live up to expectations, and the rest is history. And we know that he retired from football earlier than he should, because he could. If you can't succeed in Real Madrid, then you're as good as you're done with. We've seen Jude Bellingham hit the Galacticos, the ground running, and he's been this centerpiece for the Galacticos this season. Do you think Mbappe can live up to expectations once he makes that move and become a Galactico?
Of course, sure. Of course, if you look at Mbappe is the French national team captain. I was saw Mbappe at the last World Cup. Mbappe is a World Cup winner. He won the World Cup before this. He got to the final of the last World Cup. Even the last World Cup, we saw him and Lionel Messi dragging it out among themselves. I mean, he scored, Messi scored, and we saw how well he did. For me, Mbappe is a player at his young age. We know what to expect from him. Of course, there's this thing about going to. You see, when you go to a club like Real Madrid, now in Real Madrid as a team, because you are a star, now nobody, there is this, they are not strict on you. They allow you, they know, you are a star. In Spain, as a star, you are allowed to come to, you are allowed. You are not, it's not like in England, whereby if you are an English team, you need to keep training, you need to keep monitoring you, you need to keep working out. But when you go to Spain, once you are a star in Spain, nobody disturbs you. You know, because you are a star, once you come there, you know what to do. They try to have a high level of discipline. So for Edwin Hazard, he never had discipline problem. When he got to Real Madrid, I mean, I think he relaxed. He stopped putting up his best. I mean, he stopped working hard. And of course, because they made him feel, look, you are a star. We know that even if you don't train, I mean, you come to the field of play, you'll be able to do your best. So they expect him to keep that high level. And that's why, and that's the difference between Spain and playing for other league. When you're in Spain, you are expected to keep up that high level of discipline. You have to keep up maintaining that your training fitness, keep going, keep working out. Just like Cristiano Ronaldo. We saw Cristiano Ronaldo in Real Madrid. He kept working out, he kept that pace. So I think Mbappe is going to keep that pace. Mbappe, of course, is a young lad, of course, coming from a black boy. For that matter, he knows what is left from him, and he's going to keep up that pace. He's going to keep working out because he knows that once he loses his form in Madrid, it's going to affect his national team position. So Mbappe, I don't think he's going to have a problem playing Madrid. He's going to play with a lot of Junior is there, Vinicius Junior is there, Bellingham is there, Rodrigo is there. So I think, and he has a lot of national teammates playing for Madrid too. So I don't think he's going to have a problem in Real Madrid. I expect Mbappe to fit in perfectly in Real Madrid team.
All right, this is the last talking point we're going to have with you. Man City were made to wait 71st minutes before Haaland capitalized on an error from a defender, Christopher Ajar. It was a nervy night for the champions, but 3 points pushes them just one a point behind leaders Liverpool. And we know that Liverpool currently is suffering injury worries. Salah, Jota, Baker, Alisson, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, their vice captain, Joel Matip, Diego Jota, and Dominic Thiago Alcantara, Curtis Jones, Stefan Bajcetic, all having injury worries. Do you think Man City is going to upstage Liverpool at the top of the English Premier League? And the Carabao Cup also coming up this weekend. Do you see Liverpool losing this Carabao Cup to Chelsea?
Yes, thank you, Tony. Tony, as I said, I told somebody earlier, I said this season league is between Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. And I think the game is going to go to the end of. I mean, the game is going to go to the end of the season before we know the champions. Man City, we've seen them done this before, not today. We've seen Man City coming from behind to win the title, not once, not twice. And again, their game against Brentford yesterday was a very tough game for them. Of course, with a player that like Onyeka, I just came out from the AFCON. We saw how well he did in that match. You saw how well he played against Man City with the form he came from, with the confidence he had coming back from AFCON, and he win the silver medal. I mean, you saw how well how much he has improved. So of course, Brentford came actually for a win or a draw. And we saw how well they were able to hold this Man City team up to the last quarter. And of course, Man City being Man City, being champions, they were able to show that, look, we are the champions, we are good, we've played, we know what to do. And they were able to get that magic at the end of the game and were able to get that 3 points, which is very important to them. So I think this season is going to go to the last game of the season to determine who's going to be the champions of the EPL. But of course, Man City is just behind Liverpool, at 1 point behind Liverpool. But for me, Liverpool is a team that I've not really had so much confidence in them because most times when they're on top of the table, they always lost team at the end of the year. When it matters most. And of course, the club coming to say, look, this is my last season with Liverpool. I've won everything I want to win with Liverpool. He has won the first title with Liverpool. He has won everything he wants to win. There's no more motivation for him in Liverpool right now. So for me, I think we are going to watch an interesting three-man horse race to the end of the season, to end the EPL, to know whoever eventually will become the champions. Yes, Liverpool has injury worry, but we saw a Salah coming in, to score goals. I think that was last weekend, their last game, coming to play. We saw Nunes too scoring goals. So for me, I think the injury worries in Liverpool should not affect their winning of the title. If truly they are determined they want to win title, they have what it takes to win it. They should be able to go ahead and get to win that. We saw Arsenal have the same injury worries from the season, and we saw how they've been able to come back. The last 5 games again, pushing for the title. Liverpool and Man City too had the same worries too. They were able to come back. Haaland was not in the team for a very long time. Kevin De Bruyne was out for a very long time too. But we saw how they've recovered, how they've been able to keep holding the flag, flying the game high to get to this point. So I think we are going to see a very interesting end to the EPL this season.
All right, thank you, Charles Ohaji. Always a pleasure having you on Talk Sports, and we urge you to enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, thank you, Tony.
All right, that's how much we're going to get from Coach Charles Ohaji, helping us look at some big stories and making the rounds. We'll go for a very quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be dishing out all the big stories we have in store for you, and so that you get well informed as regards the trending stories in the exciting world of sports. Stay with us. right, welcome back from the break. It's still Talk Sport on Global Television and giving you all the big stories making the rounds. Let's begin from the story that has to do with the Gunners. Yes, we're looking at Arsenal fans. That's a big story. We're looking next. Arsenal fans are being afforded extra security by Portuguese police for the Champions League last 16 tie against the FC Porto tonight amid the tensions between ex-Tottenham boss and the Villas-Boas and Porto Ultras. Mail Sport understands that the city's public security police will deploy officers from across 5 different units, including the Criminal Investigation Division, which targets organized crime around the Estadio do Dragão, in light of a rift sparked by the upcoming Porto presidential election. Police will also be monitoring the areas around the fans' accommodation. The PSP have seized at least 87 tickets for the match belonging to members of the Porto Ultras group Super Dragons, and concerns have been raised of a potential for violence. A typical Arsenal match abroad would usually warrant a couple of officers traveling from England, but owing to the situation, Mail Sport understands that up to 10 will make the trip. It comes as previous high-profile matches in the city have descended into chaos. Porto's last 16 match against Inter Milan last year erupted after traveling fans who had bought tickets for the homestands were prevented entry in an attempt to avoid clashes between the opposing sides. So now you know, Gunners fans, you can go to Porto in Portugal and you're sure you're going to get extra security. Tell them the King of Sport told you so. All right, let's move on to other big stories. We're looking at Song and Lee Kang is in the news this morning on Talk Sport. Let's tell you that Spurs stars Son Heung-min and PSG's Lee Kang have apologized to each other after a bust-up during South Korea's Asian Cup campaign. There was a reported confrontation between the pair ahead of South Korea's semi-final, which led to the Tottenham player suffering a dislocated finger after Lee tried to punch him. Let's tell you that South Korea lost to Jordan at the semi-final stage, which ultimately cost Jurgen Klinsmann his job as the national team manager. Now both stars have taken to Instagram to apologize to each other and the country for their actions. The PSG star shared his apology message first with a black screen before Song shared his own words on the matter, along there with an image of the pair meeting at a hotel in London to clear the air. That's how it's done. All right, let's move on to other big stories. Let's take you to France as we talk sports this morning. Let's tell you that Kylian Mbappe has agreed to take a massive pay cut to join Real Madrid, the Galacticos, this summer. The 25-year-old who earns 25 million euros net in Paris will clear 15 million euros net a season at Madrid, still making him the club's top earner despite the huge salary cut. Let's say that Mbappe has agreed terms with the Spanish giant, although neither Paris Saint-Germain nor Madrid will make any formal statement, while both could still meet in the Champions League. Despite losing out in terms of basic wage, Mbappe will be paid a sizable signing-on fee, understood to be over 100 million euros, and will keep a 80% share of image rights on any new commercial deals he signs after becoming a Madrid player. This breaks from the normal 50-50 split the club usually imposes on new players. Mbappe is expected to wear Luka Modric's number 10 shirt next season, with the Croatian 38-year-old not being offered a new deal. Marca reported on Tuesday that Modric, yes, the man wearing number 10 shirt, let's see if we see Modric on the screen, has been offered the opportunity to stay at the club as part of Carlo Ancelotti's coaching staff. Confirmation in Madrid of the club's capture of Mbappe ends their 7-year pursuit of the French World Cup winner. His decision to leave Paris for Madrid has been welcomed in the Spanish capital as the final piece in the puzzle for Ancelotti to lead a team that can dominate European football for the next decade. All right, I hope my producer can show us Modric. That's the man wearing number 10 jersey. He will be vacating that number 10 jersey for Mbappe. Yes, that's the man there, Modric, who will be leaving the 38-year 20-year-old, who will be making way for Mbappe to step in and complete the puzzle for the Galacticos. All right, we'll get to see how the Galacticos will form and dominate football in the next decade under Carlo Ancelotti, one of the greatest coaches of all time. All right, let's move on to the next big story. It has to do with Ratcliffe. Is in the news this morning. Sir Jim Ratcliffe completes a 1.3 billion pounds deal to become a Manchester United co-owner. Is the big story this morning. Let's break it to you that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is now a co-owner of Manchester United. The petrochemicals billionaire and lifelong United fan has officially taken just over a quarter share in the club after his investment was officially confirmed. Ratcliffe and his Ineos group have paid more than £1 billion for 27.7%, which will rise to close to 30% following a further £238 million injection into the Premier League giant. Ahead of the announcement, the new arrivals had effectively taken control of footballing operations at the club from majority owners, the Glaziers, and have swiftly gone about making their mark. Following a swoop for Manchester City's Omar Barada, who will become the new chief executive. An approach has been made for Newcastle United sporting director Dan Ashworth and other new hires focusing on recruitment and football performances expected in the near future. Those changes are now likely to gather pace as they seek to restore United to the top of world football. All right, you see Ratcliffe and the coach there, Ten Hag, and talking business, how to take the Red Devils to the apex of world football. Let's see what's going to happen in the coming days, the theater of dreams. All right, that's the man there, Ratcliffe. Let's move on to the next big story. Let's take you to the blue side of Manchester and give you the big story. Yes, we're looking at Man City taking on Brentford. Is the big story this morning. Man City were made to wait a first minute before Haaland. Yes, that's the man being hugged there, the man with the blonde hair, capitalized on an error from defender Christophe Ajar. It was a nervy night for the champions. About 3 points pushes them just 1 point behind leaders Liverpool. All right, in the coming days, let's move on to the next big story. Liverpool latest injury list is the next big story we are taking this morning. As we give you all the big stories, let's tell you, yes, that's the list of injury worries for Liverpool. But let's let you know that Mohamed Salah is Liverpool's latest injury scare as Jurgen Klopp faces being without 10 senior players for Wednesday's Premier League clash with Luton just days after before the Carabao Cup final. Salah, who returned at Brentford on Saturday following a hamstring problem, is being assessed after feeling discomfort, which the club hope is just a reaction to his month-long layoff. Salah has already been injured in 7 years in Merseyside, but flew back for treatment from the African Cup of Nations after pulling up for Egypt against Ghana on January 18. He returned to the bench at Brentford, but had to come on earlier than anticipated when Diogo Jota was carried off on the stretcher after 44 minutes. The Premier League leaders are down to the bare bones in the midfield and attack, with Jota, Dominic and Curtis Jones ruled out for Luton's visit, and Darwin Núñez a doubt after coming off at halftime in Brentford game with a muscle issue. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Alisson Becker and Thiago Alcantara, yes, are also on the treatment table alongside long-term casualties Joe Matip and Stefan Becich. We've got a club said Jota faces a month out, but his injury, knee injury, is expected to be on the lower end of the scale, and he could return by the end of April. That's talking about Anfield, Liverpool in the news this morning. Let's move on. Ryan Giggs is in the news this morning, talking about Giggsy. Yes, the former Manchester United legend. That's the man on your screen there. Let's let you know that Ryan Giggs has declared that he wants to return to football management nearly 2 years after stepping away from the Wales job over charges that he assaulted his ex-girlfriend. Giggs, who is 50, who has always protested his innocence, told an event in Chester that he missed the job and hankered to return to it. No club has come in for Giggs since the Crown Prosecution Service announced that last July that it was withdrawing plans to retry him on charges of controlling or coercive behavior and assault. The jury failed to reach a conclusion in the first trial, which lasted 4 weeks. Wales may be looking for a new manager if Rob Page, who temporary replacement for Giggs became permanent in 2022, fails to take the nation to Euros 2024. A playoff semi-final and a possible final against Poland or Estonia lie ahead next month, but the Welsh FA may be reluctant to make what would be a controversial appointment given the evidence which emerged at the trial. Giggs, a 13-time Premier League winner, has already ruled out managing Salford City, the club he co-owns with former Manchester United teammates, despite watching them regularly. All right, let's talk some tennis. And then let's move on to tennis. Let's talk about Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz is in the news this morning. Talking tennis, let's tell you that reigning Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz departed the Rio Open on Tuesday after 2 games due to a right ankle injury. Alcaraz's injury at a 1-1 met Brazil's Thiago Monteiro advanced to the second round, where he will be set for a matchup with Felipe Meligani Alves for a place in the quarterfinals. The 2-time major champion Alcaraz twisted his ankle in the first game after only 2 points. He received medical attention, broke Monteiro's serve, but after the Brazilian pulled level, he shook his rival's hand and left the court, working as his coach Juan Carlos Ferrero looked concerned. Alcaraz was the runners-up at the clay court tournament in Rio de Janeiro last year and its winner in 2022. The injury adds to Alcaraz's below-par performance at the Argentina Open last week. The 20-year-old who won the title in 2023 was eliminated by Chile's Nicolas Jarry in the semifinals in Buenos Aires. And earlier, 3-time major winner Stan Wawrinka was beaten 7-5, 6-4 in the first round by Argentina's Ricardo Diaz Acosta. Yes, the 23-year-old Diaz Acosta beat Jarry in the final to win his first title on Sunday at the Argentine Open. Tuesday's match was delayed for almost 2 hours due to rain in Rio de Janeiro. Meanwhile, Diaz Acosta's next opponent will be his compatriot Sebastian Baez. All right, let's see, talk more as tennis stories, and we're looking at Tomic. Talking mental health issues. Let's tell you that forgotten Aussie tennis star Bernard Tomic has spoken about the mental health struggles that led to him losing a passion for the sport and plummet in the rankings. Tomic, once ranked as high as number 17 in the world, was denied a wild card entry to the Australian Open for the last 2 years, missing the tournament for the first time since 2008. It's been a big fall from grace for Tomic, who was once considered one of the most exciting prospects Australia had ever seen. The former junior world #1 has now spoken of the mental struggles he has endured over the years. Tomic, who recently won the ITF M25 Chennai tournament in India, is quietly climbing back up the rankings and believes he can return to the top 50. All right, let's wrap it up talking boxing now. Yes, we've got 2 more stories to wrap it up. Let's talk boxing, and Tyson Fury is in the news this morning. Let's say that Tyson Fury's nutritionist, George Lockhart, has been adding extra garlic to the Gypsy King's meals to help with the cut above his right eye, claiming food is key for recovery and injuries of the nature. Lockhart, who shares the responsibility of Fury's food intake alongside Greg Marriott, says the garlic will help kill off the bacteria and germs within the cut, making it heal faster than usual. Lockhart also highlighted the importance of micronutrients-rich foods such as spinach, carrot and onions before explaining how red meat were vital to increasing the Gypsy King's iron intake. The nutritionist, who also works alongside Joseph Parker, went on to discuss Fury's calorie intake, stating that he would have to eat more than usual as the body burns more calories while trying to heal. Lockhart is not naive and says food won't solve everything, but claims it has a huge impact over time in terms of recovery and and injuries of that nature. However, he states time is the most important thing. So now you've learned on TalkSport that garlic makes healing faster, and so take more garlic when you're injured, and it means you're going to heal faster, according to the nutritionist. Tell them you heard it on TalkSport. All right, let's wrap it up with the story talking Formula One, and Chris Horner is in the news this morning. Controversial Chris Horner. We're talking Formula One this morning. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner has arrived at the Bahrain International Circuit for Formula One pre-season testing amid an investigation into alleged inappropriate behavior made against him. The investigation was launched earlier this month following a complaint made by a female employee at Red Bull. Horner fully denies the claims and appears to be trying to go about his business as usual. He was pictured in Bahrain on Wednesday morning alongside Red Bull's Chief Technical Officer Andre Newey, with the pair preparing to test their team's new car ahead of the 2024 season getting underway next week. Horner also attended a secret filming day last Tuesday at Silverstone and returned to the same track 2 days later for Red Bull's new car launch. Speaking at that event, he revealed that his wife, former Spice Girls Geri Halliwell, had been very supportive since the accusations were made against him. Halliwell is reportedly devastated by the allegations, but has stood by Horner. She unfollowed all of Beckham's, including her former bandmate Victoria, over the weekend with the scandal involving her husband threatening to turn Turkcid. The reporter in Holland last week revealed more details of the allegation made against Horner, claiming that he had been accused of sending sexually suggestive messages to a Red Bull employee. All right, that's a former Spice Girl wife there, Halliwell, supporting her husband, Chris Horner. All right, on that very controversial note, we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program, Talk Sport on Global Television. Big thanks to my producer, Zeliat, for doing a yeoman's job this morning and giving us the right pictures and tempo to get the job done this morning. My name is Anthony Momodu, the King of Sports. Good morning.